The Dream It, Build It Collective hosting a free online workshop. What are your biggest fears about buying a home with Jaynette Lancaster?
All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in tonight. Um, as Miss Xenia said, I am with our Bay Area chapter, and I have been in real estate for about 22 years. Wanted to give you a little background about myself. I started in real estate because there was a need for my family and myself. I was a single parent and had gone and moved to the East Coast and sold my house, moved out that way, and decided, hey, I'm coming back to California and I got to figure out things. I got to figure out what it is I want to do, what I want to, who I want to be, how I want to take care of my family, and how I want things to go. Um, at the time, I had, um, it was just me and my son, and my aunt was a broker over on the East Coast. And she said, hey, when you go back, go for it. You need anything, let me know. Um, do what you need to do. You have money in the bank already, but if anything runs out, just I'm here. And I came back and I hit the ground running, banging the phones. And the very first month, I was top producer of the month. And from there, it was like there was like no going back, no going back. So I immersed myself into all things real estate and made sure that my son and I were going to go on the path of real estate. So this topic and this workshop today is something that's basically twofold because it's something that we all can benefit from. It's something that we can all take away our fears. It's something that we don't have to be fearful from purchasing a home, or even if we wanted to get into real estate and learn to sell homes or do mortgages. I started in the mortgage industry and then I moved over to the sales portion of things. And so tonight I'll be sharing basically just the overall basic fundamentals of purchasing a home, because most people don't know what that means or how to go about doing that. They're just like, hey, I'm going to purchase a home and this is what I want to do. And oh, my friend over here got the opportunity to purchase a home and they didn't put any money down, or they did this or they did that. And yeah, that's true. And there's options out there, but nobody ever really knows how it goes. Today I found out that there's over 400 different programs out there, like that give you funding and or options to help you purchase a home for first-time home buyers, or assistance to purchase a home. There's so much that we can tap into. There's reasons for us not to be fearful into getting out there to purchase a home and or getting in the industry in order to learn more and or be a buyer or seller, or be able to help out the next person to buy or sell a home. So what we'll do is I have a small or brief uh, uh, presentation together, and I want to share it with everyone, and we'll kind of go through that, and then I'll have anybody that has questions, please do ask them. And then at the end of that, I also have an ebook that I like to share, and then I also have a challenge for everyone that if you would like to go from a renter to a buyer in 90 days, I can help you do that as well. If you have questions with regards to whether there's rates or what things are doing right now, it's the springtime. There's a lot of sales that are coming up. There's a lot of homes that are out there that are coming up. There's so much when it comes to the industry that you can learn and or pick up on. We can have conversation for days or hours with regards to the mortgage industry and or the real estate industry that we can go on and on and on about. But today it's about overcoming those fears and figuring out where it is that you fit in or where you want to fit in with regards to real estate that we're going to cover. So we'll go with the basics today, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and share my screen at this point if I can, Messina, and we'll go from here. All right, everyone, I'll share my screen now. Let me know if you can see it, and we'll get started. It'll probably go a little fast, so I'll stop a little bit, and we'll go from You'll let me know. So we'll start with tackling your fears. And the name of my real estate company is Absolute Real Estate. And so that means that I will absolutely answer all of your questions and absolutely take care of every step of the way. So right now I have the top 10 steps that you can go from 1 to 10 to the steps to home ownership for yourself, whether it's from gathering your down payment to checking your credit score, getting the pre-approval for your mortgage, making that offer, go home shopping, you hire a buyer's agent, which would be myself, or anyone that you do need to work with, because I do feel it's important that you find someone that you relate with. I want you to find someone that you have a rapport with, someone that can educate you. It is very important that you're educated about the contract, about the home that you're purchasing, about what it is that you're going to be living in, someone that's not just looking for a check. There are people out there, and I'm not going to say that, there's that all agents are out there looking for a check, but there are some. Most of us have integrity and ethics about ourselves, that we want to make sure that you are getting to the home that you not only can afford, but also won't be looking, in the next 2 years to say that, hey, I can't afford this and this is above my means. And now I'm going to foreclose on my home and I don't know what I'm going to do. That's something that we do not want. This is legacy building. So this is something that we want to do, that we want to either leave for our kids and or purchase the next home so we can build up to our dream home if we can't get the first one. That's our dream home. So we want to find an agent that's going to work with us and make sure that we're putting ourselves in a position that we can do that. We want to make sure that we're getting home inspections. So we're not in a home that, hey, we got to go and fix doors and windows and maybe there's growing mold in the house because we just jumped into this house because it looked good, because someone just, what do they say, put paint on a pig. We want to make sure that the agent's not doing that with us. Or the house that we got, we didn't look for the things that we needed to look for. We just walked through and said, oh, I like the chandelier in this house, and so I want it. You get an appraisal for the house, making sure that you're not overpaying for the house or underpaying. Underpaying would be a great thing, because then you have equity in the house, and then you can learn to know what to do with that. And then we can call Jasper and monetize on that house as well and do some other things with it. Then we'll teach you about the closing documents and wrap up, and then move you in, and then do some closing gifts and some other good things, and maybe have a block party and have some fun in that house and make some memories and take a bunch of pictures and grow your family and all those great things. So that's the 10 steps to home ownership. From there, I teach you how to gather your down payment and learn about the different types of loans. The next slide will teach you a little bit more about this, but there's 4 different types of loans. There's your conventional loan, there's your FHA, VA, and then there's your U.S. Department of Agriculture. The last one is not very common, but the top 3 are. And I'm sure you'll hear people throw that out a lot. Oh, I got an FHA loan, or, oh, I got a conventional loan. So FHA is something where you're putting down anything less than 5%. And then you have your conventional loan where you're putting anywhere from 10% or higher. A lot of people won't tell you that. They'll say, oh, you need 20%, but you can get some conventional loans. You can even find some that are 5%, depending on what your credit score is. But we'll get more into that if we work together and we're working on getting you a loan and moving forward with purchasing a home. But nonetheless, there's the 4 different types of loans. There's conventional, federal, which is FHA, veterans, and then the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The biggest thing would be finding a amazing mortgage broker. I have quite a few that I work with. I usually try to also pair my clients with a mortgage broker or a mortgage loan officer that works with their personality, their financial situation, and someone that is savvy enough to work with you that will make sense as a whole. I think that's imperative and important, Because if you guys don't work well together, you guys don't speak the same language, and you guys don't understand one another and can't communicate well, then it doesn't work well either. There was just a scenario where someone had, there was a big write up about it, and this is just recently. A young lady had a loan, an FHA loan, and she was all qualified, was able to get a condo, but because because she didn't have the proper FICO score, the FHA was going to be, her rates were going to be a little bit higher than they needed to be, or than she wanted them to be, or her dad felt that they should have been, and didn't understand all of the legalities of everything. So he felt, oh, no, they're cheating you, or they're doing you wrong, or they're not doing what they should be doing, and this isn't right. And maybe if she had the right mortgage broker or mortgage loan officer that spoke the proper language, or had the rapport that was necessary to talk to her and her father, they could have, got through that. She probably went to the next mortgage broker and probably got even a higher interest rate than she should have. And that happens quite often. So if you don't know what you're doing, and I only say this because I've done both, and I make sure that I keep up with both, and I try to educate all of my clients to make sure that they understand what's going on all sides when this is happening. So that's this part, and learning that you need to gather your down payment, know what the loans are, and then having that conversation with both myself and your mortgage broker. So we'll go to the next one. The next one would be checking your credit score. If you don't know your credit score, it's something that we would sit down. I like to sit down. If you don't do it with myself, you would do it with your mortgage broker or your loan officer. But I also feel like it's very imperative that you know it yourself. I always try to tell my clients, I will guide them as to where to go, and teach them that it's important to know what that credit score is. Although it says that you can find something, or you can be qualified as low as a 530, that's not necessarily true. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's possibly leading you for disappointment. And it is also, it's very misleading. Someone possibly can do it, but it is not. And the people that tell you that you'll find something, it's going to give you the highest rating. You're going to have to go to a hard money lender. You're going to have the highest interest rate. You can do it, right? So it's we're talking about your fears, right? So you don't have to be fearful if that's what you really want to do. If you don't mind paying 10, 11% to purchase something, you can do it. It depends on what your goal is, right? So you don't have to be fearful. And if you don't mind, it's doable. But what are your goals at the end of the day? What can you afford? No one can tell you what you can afford and what you can't afford. One. What are your goals at the end of the day? What do you need to do? Like if you only are going to pay this for a year or two, and it works for your budget to get you where you need to be, then by all means, I will coach you, help you, get you to where you need to be. We refinance and we get you into the proper loan, and then move you to the next house or whatever it is. However, it's always good and necessary to know what your credit score is, so you can be in the best possible position to do the best possible thing for yourself. So that means determining what your interest rate is going to be in the beginning, so you know where you fall, so you know what loan you can get, and you know which one of those conventional FHA. So I should have probably put that on that same scale in the beginning. There's 5 actual loans that you can get. There's conventional FHA, USD, VA, and then there's also hard money. We try to steer clear of that, but there is hard money loans out there.
Hey, Jaynette, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So with the credit piece, and I hear this quite a bit from people, clients of mine, like, is there a credit score or a certain bureau that's more important than the others? That's the first question. And then the second part is, I know there's also like Vantage scores. And so I'm always kind of leery of, well, I know FICO is the more popular, but do lenders also leverage the Vantage score as a part of making their assessment?
So no, it's called a tri-merge.
Okay.
And what happens is that it's all three. And what they do is they take the mid score. However, they look at all three. So the tri-merge, what they do is, excuse me, they take all, and they're still using, we're still pretty much on the old system, which is your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. They take all three scores and they look at them as a whole. And your mid score will be like the heaviest weighted, but they look at all three.
Thank you. I got into arguments with people of like, well, they said this one's better. I was like,
Yep.
I think they're all important.
They're all important. Every last one are important.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And they call it a tri-merge. Yep. And I'll tell you now. So for instance, let's say, for instance, you have Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and someone has, let's say, a 640, a 720, and let's say they have like a 505. They're being denied. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Even though the two of those scores are high enough for them to qualify. Doesn't matter. No ifs, ands, buts about it. At that point, we're all scrambling, going like, why did this happen? What happened? What's going on? What's going on with this one particular bureau? What did you do over here? Because they all matter. They do a tri-merge. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up. That's one. I get that one all the time. There's like, I'm telling you, I listen to experts like you, but I guess because I'm not in your industry, they're like, well, Jasper, I know this is more important. I'm like, no, they're all important. So I'm glad we have it on the record. So
yep.
I'll let the world know.
On the record, absolutely. Tell them, yeah, there's no way, no how. They are absolutely all three. And so there's like a fourth, just so you know, there's some changes in the credit world. There's a fourth one coming out right now, but they are not using it yet. Yeah, we'll probably have to do a class on credit soon. Messina. Do we have someone else coming in?
I agree.
Yeah. So this is everyone will get a little bit more information too when I share the ebook. It has a lot, it goes a little bit more in depth with regards to credit. And this is also giving you examples with regards to the primary mortgages with how the 30-year rate, all that great stuff, 15 years. I also like to go into examples about paying down your mortgages, getting them done a lot sooner, all that great stuff. Some ways to increase your scores, ways to dispute errors. There's also, since that was just brought up, things about avoiding new credit card purchases, buying things when you're trying to purchase a home. We've had people that, hey, you've been approved. We're going to purchase a home. We're out shopping. And then all of a sudden they'll go buy something or do something to interrupt the purchase of their home. And now they cannot close on their home because they went and bought a new car. So we have those conversations while we're in the process of looking for their new home. So that's something else. Here we go. Someone else that wanted to be admitted. Okay. So we'll go to the next slide. And the next one is, so these are actions. And so what I try to do is, and I was going into that, which is about, what is your action plan? Steps to increase your credit score, and teaching people how to increase their credit score. What are their deadlines? What are things that we need to do to work on it? What are things that you should and should not do? How do we get rid of some of those we may have inaccuracies on there. We may have you have You'll have things like maybe bad addresses, bad names that are on there. You may have late payments on there. There are ways of things that we can correct that are on your credit report. I also feel that just knowing what a credit report is, Jasper does things, like he said, he just, he's had some of these conversations, but sitting with people and actually going through their credit report, I think that's very important. And having that educational piece when you're ready to purchase a home is important. So sitting and having this action plan is an important piece and process to the purchase of a home. So prior to go in and get this house, I think it's important for you to know about your credit. If you don't know this piece, it's hard to go and purchase the home because you're like, hey, yeah, I have a 620 or I have a 580, so I'm ready to go purchase, but I don't even really know what that means. And then you go and you purchase, and then now all these credit cards are coming, and then now you're back to a 480 because you really don't know what you just did. So we really got to, make sure we know what that action plan is, know what your credit score is, and then make sure we're in a solid place to make sure that we get to where we need to be to make sure that our mortgage is good. Okay. So next, getting pre-approved for that mortgage. After we get all of that together, we go get pre-approved, and then we get on my list of pre-approved lenders. As I said before, I will get you together with my mortgage lenders and mortgage brokers, making sure that you are with someone that you have a rapport with, someone that you has an understanding of who you are, someone that you can have a rapport with, someone that you can work well with, someone that understands how you work, what your financial situation is, how you like to speak, talk, work, think, what works well with you. I think that is so imperative. If that doesn't work, then it makes it a little difficult. You can't just be with someone that just says, hey, here's your loan, you're approved, there we go. Go on. You want this to be a seamless process for you. You don't want it to be a headache. I hear so many people say, oh my God, this was just like the worst experience ever. Purchasing a house was the worst experience ever. Oh my God, I got my house, but I was just so disappointed. Or, oh my God, it was just I had a headache. And that's what we want to get away from. That's why we have a lot of people that have fears. And so we have a lot of people that don't want to go through the process, or they're afraid of going through the process because they're either afraid to say, hey, this is what I need, or this is what I don't have, or this is what I don't understand, or this is what I think I need. We want someone that understands those things when you're ready to go for it, or maybe even addresses them before you get to it. So that's why you want to pair up with somebody that either has been in the industry, or maybe has enough compassion, or has an understanding, or can educate you on the process, or even knows what the process is before they get to you. The next would be hire a buyer's agent. Hire me. And so, went to the wrong place. Hold on here. You guys got to go back through this with me. So getting back to hiring me. You want to hire someone, like I said earlier, that you're comfortable with. Someone like myself that's been in the industry, been around for a while, worked with quite a few clients, that understands what the area is about, what's going on in the area, that's done their homework. I work with the Bay Area. I work with San Francisco. I work with Contra Costa, Solano. I work with San Joaquin area. I've done my homework. I went and saturated myself in the San Francisco area for about 3 years, just so I can understand what's going on and understand the nuances that happen over there, because it's a little different than it is over in Contra Costa County. You want someone that's going to go all out and try to understand and listen to what it is that you want, as well as what it is that you need. You don't want someone that's just looking to make a sale. You want someone that's going to, like I said, make sure that they're looking out for what's going on with the house itself. They're not just saying, hey, I just need to make the sale. Does the house have mold? Does the doors need to be fixed? Do we need to do this? Do I need to make sure that we're talking to the seller's agent to say, hey, no, maybe we need a credit here, or no, maybe I need you to pay for this inspection because I see that this is going on, or no, I see this going on, or I went out and my CMA says this, so I think that the house is not worth this. I'm actually in mediation with another client right now because I know that the contract says this, and therefore I'm not going to allow this. So you want someone that actually knows what's going on, not only in the market, but what's going on with the contracts, what's going on in the with the actual California Association of Realtors, someone that has relationships with other realtors. I can make a phone call, have a conversation with someone, and I can get a contract approved. You want someone that knows, okay, hey, today jumbo loans are 30% down, interest rate is 6%. All we need is an 800 credit score and 12 months reserve, and we don't need anything else, and we can get that approved. You need, first time home buyer special, 5.85%, interest rate. You need someone that's going to be on their stuff. And if they're not, they're going to go look it up, and they're going to make sure that you're educated at the same time. There's no competition. They're not looking to be in competition with their clients. They're looking to make sure that their clients are taken care of. So that's what a buyer's agent's going to do for you. They're going to make sure that you are taken care of at all given times. They're going to make sure that you're able to ask questions. And they're going to ask you if you have any questions. They're going to make sure that you are in a position to make sure that you have everything answered. And if there wasn't something answered, they're going to find out if there's something that you need answered. Does anybody have any questions at this time? No? LaRonda? You're in California. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I actually have my real estate license, but I don't practice.
Oh, okay. So anything you want to add?
No, actually, you're doing an amazing job. I've had my real estate license for 16 years. Well, actually 17 years, but I just never been interested. I've only, I've done loans. I've done all of that. My dad's he's an agent. He's been an agent for probably about 20 years or so.
Okay. So you've been around.
Yeah, I've been around, but just for some reason, I just don't have, that's not my niche. I just, yeah.
He's like, no.
So respectfully, I call on my dad,
Okay.
and he helps me, or he has me help him do, I've done my own deals, my husband and I, we purchased 3 homes. We're actually in our 3rd home, but for the most part, I've sold a few homes, but I think it's just I don't have the patience for it.
The people?
Yeah, I don't have the patience to do the ripping and running, and it's an amazing, I take my hat off to you. I take my hat off to my dad, but I end up counseling people. And that's my love. So I just respectfully back out and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to introduce you to someone like you who would be in the Bay Area, or my dad.
Absolutely.
And it's all about knowing what you enjoy doing too, So, and I'm just sitting up listening to everything that you're saying, and I totally agree. It's it's pairing people with the right people, and making sure that they're being taken care of. And, the agent is very attentive. The agent is very attentive to their buyer or seller's needs.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. And making sure that they're educated at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but I did learn something. I did learn a terminology that you said. You said what did you call it? The
tri-merge?
Yes, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that's old school. Anyone else?
Yeah, Jaynette, it's Jasper again.
Okay.
So if somebody's in the market for an agent, I mean, how many people would you recommend they speak with? Because some people always feel like, I'm not going to go with the first choice, although they might hit it off well with you. They might feel like, should I explore other options? I talk to a lot of people who just like, I want to have more options and not go with the first choice. But if
I would
somebody
say
were
at least three.
at least three, okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just had something quickly to say. I was listening to the experiences you said that individuals might have. I bought my first house when I was 25, and we had been looking for quite some time. And I don't know if it was a buyer's market or a seller's market, but anyway, we ended up getting this renter home that the buyer didn't want. He was like pretty much over being a landlord. And so my first house, I put $50 down, and that was just for the credit report. And the seller paid everything else.
Nice.
And then I ended up having to sell it once I got divorced. So, but just those type of situations where it was kind of like divinely orchestrated, because we had been looking for a really, really long time and couldn't, it was either out of our price range or not in the area we wanted. And our agent was a representative of the seller, and we were
Okay.
looking to buy. So she just connected us up, and it was just
It worked
one
out.
of those flukes. Yeah. One
Yeah.
of those flukes.
And that happens too. And now I feel like it happens even more. So we're
Really?
actually in one of those markets again. Yes. So there's a lot of seller carries right now.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize they still did that. That
Absolutely.
was a very, very long time ago.
Yeah. We're in one of those markets again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that right now. And it's actually really great. And then we also have, because of the whole COVID thing, there's a lot of new programs out, because you have all of the people that are in trouble because of the moratorium. So they've actually put a lot of new programs out for that. Like I said, when I began, there's 400 programs out there right now. So there's a bunch.
I have an aunt who did a seller's carry,
Uh-huh.
and the owner actually ended up passing away, and they ended up selling they ended up selling the property to my aunt. So it was a really, really good deal. I mean,
Right.
at the time when she was looking, she came across a seller, and he was willing to carry the note for
Right.
many years for her. So I
Right.
thought it was a blessing. But
Absolutely.
then at the end, when he passed away, he ended up
He still sold it to her.
he
Yeah.
made sure that she was the first person that he went to. He put it in, I guess, the
And
instructions
his will or his estate, yeah, for her
Yeah.
to still be able to
to be able to
purchase
buy
it.
it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, there is a lot of that still going on. Well, there's a lot of that going on right now. You can easily get that. And then there's a lot of where you have first, second, and third carrybacks right now. So what they're doing is it's some different mortgage. So they'll have like the seller carry back like 1, 2, 3, and 4 year carrybacks of certain amounts on the loan. Yeah, they're being very creative right now to get people into houses. So what it is that the seller can buy down the rate for you. So the seller will pay to buy down your rate for the first, second, and third year of your mortgage right now. So it's called buy downs. And so that way the seller's not basically carrying back, but they're buying down your rate. So instead of having, a 5 or 6% rate for the first, second, and third year, you can have, 3, 4, 4, and 5% for the first, second, and third year. Yeah, there's a
So
lot
I
of
have,
stuff out there.
I have a quick question. So when I purchased my house, I was an employee. Now, I own my own business. What are the requirements for one who is a business owner? So what are the requirements now?
With regards to mortgages.
Mhm.
So it depends. It depends on who you go to. And it depends on your credit score too. Because I'm not totally into mortgage anymore. You can do some of them are like 12 months bank statements. Some are, yeah, it really depends on your credit score and depends on which mortgage company you go to. I would suggest not going to a bank because they're a little bit more by the book and more stringent when it comes to what they're looking for. I would suggest going to a mortgage broker. But you can do 12 months or 24 months of bank statements, depending on who you go to. They're going to look at, what reserves you have. And it just really depends on what your credit score is as to what they'll be looking for, or asking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Well, I think we're pretty good. I think we're done here. I can send everybody a copy of the ebook. Definitely everybody that signed up. There's not much more with my presentation here. Besides it's time to go shop for a home. I usually ask everyone that I work with to, make your list of your top 10 things that you're looking for. And, kind of get you ready for your home inspections and what to expect for an appraisal, and just kind of get you ready for the final steps for the closing and all that great stuff. And then just make it really, really easy for you. And tell you, let's do this. All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
One can follow Jaynette at Jaynette Lancaster on Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Are you on Facebook or any other platforms? LinkedIn?
I am. LinkedIn and Facebook, same thing, Jaynette Lancaster. And then, I think that's about it.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time out this evening. If you don't know about us, we are Dream It, Build It Collective. We support our culture and our community. We are focused on health and wellness, generational wealth, and legacy for people of color. So for those of you who don't know about us, please follow us at the Dream It, Build It Collective. We are on Instagram and Facebook and our community. If you'd like to have any closing words, go ahead.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. Have a great evening, and we will see you next time. Sending off on behalf of the Dream It, Build It Collective. Bye.